hello. I'm waiting to make sure that this is actually live. The man's in the other room checking on our YouTube channel. How are we looking?
I don't see anything yet.
Okay. Let me know when it seems to be up. Well, we're very, very new to doing this on YouTube. So there might be a few little hiccups today while we try this out. It says recording is inactive. Or is that okay?
We're not recording.
Okay. Is it on?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Georgia Dunn. I am the cartoonist who writes Breaking Cat News. And this is Lupin, who is missing his collar for some unknown reason. He loses this around the house a lot. So it will pop up at some point. He will probably jump through this quite a bit. This is kind of what he does, and hopefully you're excited to see the cats. So hopefully his interruptions will be more fun. Today, I'm going to show you how to draw some of the characters of Breaking Cat News. I've got my paper right here. One moment. Let me... Rye?
What?
The camera is autofocusing, I think. Sorry, that was something that we dealt with last night that we're just going to try to fix. Yeah, it's all blurry. Thank you. I wonder if it defaults to that.
Yeah, I had to restart it because it wasn't reading, so
Oh,
this
okay.
makes sense.
Okay, so how do we get it to focus now?
Hang on.
Sorry, everyone. We're very, very new to doing this on YouTube. We've done this on Twitch other times, and that's the setup that we know a little bit better. But we had some requests to not do it on Twitch, but to try and do it on a site more like that. Okay. All right.
Yeah, let me set up your chat over here, too.
Oh, okay. The man's going to set up my chat so that I can see what you are writing in. Thank you for bearing with us with the first beginning moments of getting used to this. Hi. Hey, buddy. Looks like Lupin's getting comfy. Hey, bud. Yeah. Oh, hello. Yes, I can. Oh, hello, everyone. Wow, Utah, Nebraska. Oh, hey, Aaron, Nebraska. Texas, Florida. Hi. Wow, St. Louis. Oh, my gosh. Oh, yay, Diane. I love your Instagram. Oh, my gosh. Diane, please feel free to put any kind of link or plug into your Instagram because it is so much fun. Mill Creek. Hey, you're close. All right. Hello, everyone. Portland, Oregon. Wow. It's so much more fun when I can see the chat because until then, I mean, you see the difference between when the chat came up and now is I was just kind of like, okay, we're here. There's some paper. Uh-oh, the camera's not focusing. And then the moment there's a chat, I feel like, oh, hey, there's people. So it's much, much easier when I feel like I'm talking to someone. I'm a little new to this part. We did a few draw-alongs when I lived in California, and we did them on Twitch. And when I've been doing the live videos on Facebook, there are a lot of people who are not on Facebook who have asked if we could do something somewhere like YouTube that is just a bit more open. You don't have to have the Facebook account to do it. And Twitch, it's kind of the same thing. We were doing it on Twitch, but if you're not on Twitch regularly, it can be a little bit of a confusing platform sometimes. And it felt better to do this if kids were watching too, because it's a little bit easier to keep a YouTube channel kind of self-contained, I guess I would say. I did just start. This just began. I haven't drawn anything yet. I'm still, I'm recognizing some names from Go Comics too. That's really cool. I'm so excited that a lot of the Go Comics readers and commenters are coming because sometimes it's really hard for me to get a link to you folks, just because, if I share it in the comments, it might get lost, and which is kind of an awesome problem because we have so many comments. That's rad. Lupin is, if I can, he is like right here. Hey, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, you're just chilling out? Okay. All right. See my sweater I'm wearing today. Okay. So I'm going to get the paper kind of situated, and I'm going to jump in a little bit. Hey, Denny. Denny Wheeler, you are so close to us too. You're right here in Washington State. I got to make when all this passes, I really want to do some kind of signing or talk or something in Washington State for the readers that we have here. I would love to do that. Hey, Gloria, hi. Oh, Will Henry, hi. Yay! I'm a big fan of Wallace the Brave. Many of you may also be, and that's really cool to see Will in the chat. Thank you. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna get started on this, and I'm gonna start with, he's right here. So let's start with Lupin. And a lot of the, now I'm pausing. I'm thinking maybe I'm going to start with Lupin's head, but I'm going to show you the difference in the cat's head shapes real quick so that we talk about different cat head shapes. And this might give you a chance to get some paper and pencils if you want to draw along. I'm going to show you Puck's head shape, Lupin's head shape, which is kind of like a football, so we got Puck, little round donut hole, Lupin, little football shape, and we got Elvis, who's kind of like a bell. He's kind of like a little bell. And while I'm drawing and while I'm sketching, if you're getting your paper and your pencil, the biggest thing while I'm sketching, the best advice I ever got with sketching with pencils, especially if you're going to ink it later, I got from my dad when I was about probably 5 or 6 years old. And it was draw very lightly with the pencil. Draw it like you're going to erase it. Know that you're going to erase it. And draw it that lightly. It is like a secret map you're drawing yourself. So kids out there, people of all ages out there, when you want to draw with a pencil and you know you're going to be inking it, draw it like it's a secret little map that you need to erase. So the enemy doesn't find it. And the enemy is your own self-criticism, because you'll see all those pencil lines and you'll just be like, I pushed it down too hard. So these are the little, I'm just kind of sketching to sort of show you sort of where things will go. But when we have, because we're still also starting this, so I don't want to jump right into it. That's where like the ears go, Pucky's little eyes. Lupin's eyes are usually much more like he's kind of excited. Elvis, and the eyebrows come in right away. I'm gonna give Pucky a little, Pucky has a little small narrow mouth, if you ever notice in the comic. He has a little tiny mouth. Lupin has a really big wide smile, so does Tommy. And Elvis is annoyed, and I draw his little mantle in like that. So there's sort of like a real simple sketchiness to it, and that's the difference in the 3 head shapes. And we're going to start right now with Lupin. We're going to get into this. And so here is how I like to draw Lupin. And again, it's kind of that little football shape. And if you're a kid, I'm going to make it a little bit easier. If you're a kid or if you're just starting out, we're really going to do kind of like a little lemon, little football shape. See, you got a little lemon, you got a little football shape right there. There it is. So there's that simple shape right there. Now again, with light, light, light pencil strokes, again, secret map. You don't want to fall into enemy hands. You're just about to erase it. You're just writing a secret code to yourself. You want to throw in for Lupin a few little, I do like 3 little lines for him on the sides. And what I love about this pencil phase is you can kind of draw anything and then just get rid of it if it doesn't work out. Then I do his ears up here. And these are 2 more little triangles. 2 more little triangles. I give him some little lines. That's like my tiny little ode to Garfield in all of the pictures. And then the eyes, this can be a little tricky at first if you're doing it for the first time. So you want to sort of play with that, and you know what? I'm going to erase them and do them again, just so that you see that, like, hey, don't be too perfect with it. It's okay. Even if I draw them in the same spot, even if I draw them just a little bit wider, just, play around with the eyes. Because everything you do with the eyes will really change the expression. And Lupin went away for a moment, but now he's back. The nose itself is like a little crescent moon. Just, whoop, just a little swoosh. So we got that. I'll give everyone a moment to maybe catch up. And we've got another little half moon over here. And another little half moon over here. Oh, and that went too wide, so I'm just going to erase it. And see again, I'm drawing really, really light, so it's very easy to erase, and that's really important. So now this is his whole expression. And his whole expression can really change right now. I can make him kind of like hopeful and surprised with eyebrows. I can make him a little like, what? Okay, what's going on with eyebrows? He can have a smile but be a little annoyed. Play with eyebrows, play with the mouth so much when you're drawing, because you might not even have an emotion in mind when you're first doing the eyebrows and the mouth, and then you see an emotion, and that will take the story in a different place when you're doing your own comics or your own drawing. I love doing that. A lot of great panels in Breaking Cat News have happened just because one of the characters looked a little different than I expected. So here's Lupin's mouth. It kind of comes down, woo, like a little shield. And then I do a half circle here. I am realizing I probably should have started with Puck, because Puck is just a little round. Puck's he's like a little bowling pin. They're all like little bowling pins when I draw them. And there's Lupin. There's his smile. So we've got the shape, and I'm going to pull his little bowling pin body down. Whoop! Little bowling pin body. And let me move the paper so you can see a little bit better. And little feet. Little feet. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. And if I was not sketching for people to watch, this goes very fast when I do it. I sketch really, really, really fast. And again, it's all really light. So my goal is to be able to erase it really easily. Let's give him something kind of fun to hold. I'm going to give him a mug. And look, I'm just drawing right over because I'm going to erase that, so I don't need to worry about it. Use the pencil as your framework. I'm going to draw his hand right through it. I don't mind. It's fine. It's okay. We're going to erase it. So just don't let that get in the way. I'm just ignoring his elbow. I just decided to draw this instead. So here's a little piece of paper, just going all over that. Just going, we're just going all over. That would make his arm kind of crazy long, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have him hold it like this. He's holding it up for you. Like, see, Elvis? Can you believe this? And I'm going to draw Lupin's tail, and Lupin in real life has a short, stubby tail because he had a fever when he was a kitten, and the fever made him deaf. Lupin could hear before that, they believe. He is a white cat with light eyes, but he has green eyes, not blue. The genetic mutation for deafness in cats is white fur, blue eyes. Lupin has white fur and green eyes. And all of his siblings who were white fur and green eyes could hear. And Lupin has retained some of this. Like, he kind of, he has the clues that he did hear when he was born. Anyway, that awful fever, he lost his hearing, and he lost the top of his tail, and that was before we adopted him. We adopted him after this had all happened. Poor Lupin. But he came through it pretty great, and the only way you'd really know is he has a shorter tail, and it shows up in the comic, too. So, here we go. I'm taking a look. Oh, what kind of pencil am I using? That's a good question. I use just kind of a simple mechanical pencil. It's a Pentel Twist Erase GT. And it's pretty soft lead. What I'm really looking for in a pencil is whether or not I can get rid of it really fast, because pencil's not a really big part of my work. When I do paintings, when I do my illustrations, sometimes I will leave pencil lines in here and there. I kind of like the look of sketchiness when I'm doing that. But for the comic, I really keep it to ink and watercolors. And the pens I use, which I'm about to start to ink things, are microns in different sizes. So I like the Pigma micron. And I like them because they don't smudge. They're archival. They don't smudge much, I should say. You do still have to let them dry with any pen. They are archival. And most importantly, they're watercolor. So they're not watercolor. They're waterproof. So I can paint over it with watercolor very easily. So I'm going to get in here and we're going to start to ink Lupin. And this is where you see what we save and what we get rid of. So I swoop down here. Now I add a lot of details when I'm inking. And then I add even more when I'm painting. And I'll do another one of these at some point to show a painting, because that would be really fun if you want to watch me watercolor. This is much bigger than I usually work. So to me, the proportions look a little off. It looks a little wonky here and there, but coming through pretty good. And then boop, boop, do a little crescent. I'm going to fill it in. Boop, little tongue. And now I pay attention to what the heck did I draw over here. And I really pay attention to the lines, and I really figure out what I want to keep, what I want to omit. I'm going to throw a little CN on there. I'm going to keep his little piece of paper. And going to get his little suit going. So if you're following along at home, I'm going a little fast here, and that's just because I'm new to this too. And I'm still in the habit of kind of drawing a little too quick. So next, we're going to switch to Pucky. And I think that Puck is going to be a much easier character to draw along with, and I will draw a little slower with him too. This little Lupin is kind of as much practice for me as for you, because this is very different for me. I usually draw like right up on my work like this, and it's like that small. I'll show you. I have some down here. Here. This is one of the real pages from this past week, right here. And so you can see the scale, and if you look at Lupin in this, he is literally smaller than a thumbnail. And this is pencil, ink, and then painted on cardstock. And you can see I wrote a little note to myself, fangs, because I forgot poor Sir Figaro's fangs on his luchador mask. But yes, I work very, very small in real life. And I'm not certain why, but I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I used to draw in my notebooks quite a bit in school, and I kind of had to hide it while I was doing it, and so it developed very, very small work. Hi. Hi. Yeah. Okay, so here's Lupin all sketched out. Oh, ironically, I need to move him. Can I put you in your cat bed? I still talk to Lupin all the time, even though he can't hear me. Here, let's try this out. Is that good? Yeah? No? Thinking about it? The answer is no. No, it's not good. He doesn't want that. Okay. So I'm going to erase the pencil marks right here. Whoop. You okay? Did you get bumped? Hi. Yeah, he's a good boy. Okay. And there we have Lupin. So, I mean, it was a... I mean, we've all got... Most of us have cats, so you know the deal. Uh, so that's Lupin, and this is Lupin on Lupin. And as you can see, the pencil part, it's a big old mess. So if you are new to drawing, if you are a child who is just starting to draw, don't worry so much if you're gonna go over it with ink or paint or something else, crayon, colored pencil. Don't worry so much about what the beginning looks like, especially if you're going to erase the pencil later. Just let it be a big old mess. That's fine. No one needs to know what the first part looked like. It just matters what it looks like in the end. And that is especially true with ink and paint. Hi. All right, I need to draw a puck. I need to draw a puck. No? Ooh. Ooh. All right, come on, bud. Come on, my sweetheart. Can I try? Do you want to be in my lap? All right, you can watch. Okay? All right, let's try Puck. Now, I haven't announced this yet, but I am going to be showing pictures of them pretty soon. But as you're watching me draw, you might be seeing these little marks here, and you might be thinking, whoa, everything okay? What's going on? And this past weekend, we adopted 3 new ratty boys, little rats, and pet rats. They are awesome. They're actually very, very sweet. This is more, no one was trying to hurt me. It's just kind of, in picking them up, they scramble a little bit. And their names are Frank, Rock, like Rock Hudson, or Bartleby, and Bartleby. And they are terrific, and I love them. And we'll show you photos of them at some point. I haven't had time to share it yet. And they are acclimating to their new home. So that has been very nice. We were able to do a drive-up adoption at our local rat rescue. They were amazing, and I know the woman who runs the local rat rescue. She's awesome. I trusted her to pick out 3 boy rats for us. She showed me some pictures beforehand and told me a little bit about their personalities. And, we drove up. She brought them out in a carrier. We all kept a very safe distance to pass them off. And that's how we were able to adopt them right now, which is pretty cool. They might show up in the comic. I'm not certain. They probably wouldn't for a little while, only because we have a lot of characters right now, and I want to sort of space out when characters come into the comic for a bit if I can. Okay, bud. We're gonna try to draw Puck. Come on, buddy. I'm gonna try to put him one more time, not in the cat bed, but on the chair next to me. Do you want to go on the chair next to me? Huh? Yeah? This is very, very accurate to what it's like trying to work. So you do get to see that. Goldie will probably come in at some point, because she does come in a lot. Okay, so let's do Puck. Puck, I think, is going to be a lot easier to draw. So if you were trying to catch up, or if you do have the pen and paper with you, he's a good one to try and just do right now. And I'll probably do him more even with his little serious face. And that's because we won't even really have a mouth to deal with. We'll just be working with his little round head, which is so cute. So Puck starts off like a little happy circle. Many people see pictures of Puck and then they kind of are like, oh, he's not really that chunky. He's not really a rotund little cat. And he's not. When I was first drawing the comic, I knew I had to give them different little body types, and Puck kind of seemed sort of the easiest to do that with. Just kind of make him a little short and stocky, and he is small. He's a small cat. And he is always kind of curled up in a little ball, and that's kind of, I think, where my mind went to as well. Okay, let me. So we've got a little circle for Puck's head, and I do the ears next. And Puck has little tiny ears in the comic, really little ears. I'm going to give you a moment to catch up and draw those ears, and then I'm going to show you real quick. Well, no, you know what? We'll show with Elvis, I'll show the difference in ears. Getting ahead of myself a little bit. I'll just let you catch up here. So we have the circle, and then two little triangles. And then we have, I'm going to give you Puck's eyes. There's one. There's another one. And I get asked a lot, how do you draw a circle the way you do? How do you draw a straight line? Because really, I mean, things like that, people look at someone drawing a circle or a straight line and they kind of think like, wow, how did that even come to be? And it's not one circle or one oval, it's many. and then later you go over it with the pen. That's what I do. Drawing a straight line, it's the same thing. It's not exactly a straight line. It is many, many, many lines all at once very fast. You give yourself a lot of chances when you do that. So it's one line, it's like one line, 40 chances. So you have all these chances to get it right. Okay, so now we have Puck, and if I wanted to make him smiling, I could give him this little sort of upside down M. If I wanted to give him a really big smile, I could sort of do that, and again, the little arch down, little crescent, little that. If we want to make him look surprised, ooh. Ooh, oh no. Oh, that is a mood ring. Yes, hello. I love this ring. And I figured it would be kind of a fun, flashy ring to have since my hands are going to be shown in this. I also painted my nails, which I don't typically do because when I'm working on the comic, if I'm erasing, I have a bad habit of I drag a nail across. And if I have, in particular, red nail polish on, which I have in the past, it will go over the comic, and it will. So I don't typically paint my nails, but I did today. And also for Star Trek Deep Space Nine fans, I went with a Ferengi blue. So these are like cork nails. Anyway, so hopefully this has given you a little bit of time to catch up if you're drawing along. So we have the big circle, the two triangles, and the little ovals. And now I'm going to do Puck's little bowling pin body. Let me pull this. Okay. What happened off camera is like a cord fell out of something, and I had this moment where I was like, I unplugged everything. But I didn't. But I thought that. So. It's hard doing this with an audience. It's very different. Thank you for bearing with me, and it's really nice. It's really nice to have you here and have you keeping me company during this. So here we make his little body, and I'm actually going to drag it down a little bit because I've made him too short. And now I've made him too tall. And this is all part of the process. Even if you've drawn him 100,000 times, like I feel that I definitely have, this still happens, and that's okay. So see, it's all these little feathery lines. I'm just kind of I'm almost letting the pencil just sort of build the shape out. So, thank you. I'm looking at the chat now. Yay! Thank you, everyone. I'm going to give Puck his little foot. He does have his back left hind foot. He's missing the right one. There's no right one there. We still, I would say probably once a month, I get a comment or I get an email And it is basically along the lines of, wait, has Puck always been missing a foot? And I say, yes, go back. He's never had a foot. So Puck has an average length tail, so that comes in. He has a little bit of a curve to it. And then I do 2 little triangles for his collar. So we've got little bowling pin shaped body, a little round sort of side oval for his foot, a little swooping tail, woof, woof. And now we have the 2 triangles for his collar. I can hear my kids playing. And now I do a little bit of a sort of a circle, sort of a rounded triangle. Hey, hi. Elvis is here. Hey, bud. Do you want to come up? Oh, one moment. Let me get my big baby. Here he is. Here's Elvis, so we'll pause to say hi. Hi. Hey, buddy. Oh, he's a good boy. He's a super nice cat if you're me. Hi. I love you. Are you cuddling down? Here, I'll put you back. He was getting comfy on the chair next to me, which is there for him. It's basically his chair. Hi. All right. Are you cozy? Are you comfy? You good? All right. I'm going to start working. Okay. So I've got this. Hopefully you've had time to catch up if you're drawing along. And now I bring this down. It's sort of a down and out motion. And then it meets with a triangle. And if you have to draw, if you're new to it and you have to draw a triangle, if you have to draw a triangle down here and then draw the lines, that's fine. Again, don't worry about how the pencil looks. It's whatever gets you there. It's like a map. I cannot stress that enough. It's a map to where you want to get the drawing to go. Now I draw his little pants. I have not done anything with his arms yet. But I'm going to put his arms right here. Just kind of, I'll show you the sort of traditional way I do their arms, which is like I do their hands, or their paws. Paw and elbow. Hands shorten up and cute. I originally, my editor and I went through this together that I almost made their paws very, very, very small. And they looked super cute whenever I drew them, but it was very hard to put things in their paws, like pencils and such to hold. So that's why I did not end up doing that. Alright, so with Puck, because he's an all-black cat, I have a little bit more freedom with the ink for him. And so I can kind of just ink the round part of his head first. Ink his paws. Now, I do not ink him yet until after I erase. And I used to ink him first, and then I would erase. And 9 times out of 10, I would smudge something. Excuse me. Oh. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Hopefully that wasn't like screaming into the camera as I did that. Whew. Where was I? Yeah, I used to ink him first for a long time, and then I would go to erase it, and I would mess up the page. And it's just there's a lot of ink that goes into him, and it saturates the paper, and it makes the paper a little wet and a little more fragile. Oh, tree pollen is insane right now. Since moving to the West Coast, my allergies have gotten much better. I was always the little kid who had hay fever in the back of the class. On the West Coast, my allergies, it's night and day. They're much better. But it does still hit me sometimes. Alright, I'm going to ink his little tie, ink his collar. I'm not going to worry about this line again because it just got me where I needed to go. I don't need it anymore. And then I'm going to follow this through behind it. I can hear my kids like running up and the man being like, shh. There's so much going on today. My son has his distance learning and his homeschooling like many of you do. He is going to be 7 next week. He's in 1st grade. My daughter is in preschool, and this has been hard for her because she has two parents who are working from home, a brother who is distance learning, and it's very boring for poor Guinevere. And she has her homeschooling too, but it's there's we're all sort of in Zoom meetings either for work or school or oh, it's a lot. All right, so I'm giving the ink just a moment for this to dry. If I can show you. And then I am going to push my water out of the way. And now I'm going to erase Pucky's pencil lines. I love and hate this part. It always feels kind of satisfying to get rid of all the pencil lines. But if I can show you a really, really, really quick preview, hopefully so quick that you don't see any details, of what a page of roughs look like. I just handed these in this week and then I'm inking them tonight. This is a quick page of roughs. Ooh, try to keep it in motion so you don't see too much, but you get the idea. Okay. That's a whole page of pencil. And so before tomorrow morning, all of that pencil will be gone and it will all be replaced with ink. And there's something very satisfying in that process, but also it gets very, you know, it's strenuous to just very, very carefully erase because you have to be careful not to, you know, bend the paper, rip the paper. And I work on cardstock, and it's tough. So, so now we're gonna color Pucky in, and I want to talk really quick about how Puck is inked for newspapers. In the original webcomic, Puck was painted black. He was painted a very dark gray. And a lot of people thought he was dark gray because of that. And when I was in the newspaper development deal, it became very apparent that Puck would not show up in newsprint. We were going to lose his face expressions, and we were going to lose just a lot of the kind of Pucky sweetness. And that was a little distressing when that was happening. And I had a chance at San Diego Comic-Con in 2016. My editor, Sheena Wolf, introduced me to Nick Galifianakis, who is a political cartoonist. And she had suspected that he might be able to help me through translating Puck for newsprint. And I got to have a conversation with him briefly, and he was terrifically helpful because he kind of showed me that this was a really great opportunity to do a lot of really fun things with, you know, Puck's eyes and Puck's mouth and kind of bring his emotion in that way. And this is part of how Puck got translated into newspapers, and it's worked out really well. I did have to learn how to draw him and how to ink him a little differently. And at first it was a little tough to kind of really get the full range of his face expressions back because I had to teach myself how to do it, really. It was a whole different way of inking than I was used to. And now I feel like I have a full range of his expressions again completely, and I feel really in control of it and very happy with how it all turned out. Lupin is right here again, and yay! Yes, Sheena is the best. Well, as you know. Sheena is also Will Henry's editor. She's terrific. I say a lot of times that I have the best editor in the world, and I feel like I legitimately really do. Because she works with some great people. All right. Lupin is already back. He's right here, but I tried. So let's try to ink really, really, really fast before he comes back. I'm going to start with this size pen. It's a 1. And I'm going to make less work for myself is what I'm going to do. There's just a little insurance policy I'm doing with his eyes. Hi, I know you want attention. What is happening? This is what it's like living with Lupin. All the time, 24 hours a day. He does this in the middle of the night. Well, pets, I know. The man and I, my husband Ryan, we joke a lot that sometimes it kind of feels like we have 2 cats. we have Lupin and we have Elvis. They demand the bulk of attention and they demand the bulk of everything, and they are the two that like get into everything and break things, uh and then like Goldie is just very like nice and kind of grateful it seems, just kind of hanging out. And as we joke, Pucky's just happy to be here. He Puck steals food now and then from the dinner table. That's about as, and you could always be like Pucky, and he kind of puts it down. Feels bad. He's such a sweetheart. But yeah, so Puck and Goldie are like happy to be here, and Elvis and Lupin are a lot. They are, got some Lupin cat hair on this. They are a lot, and they are a constant kind of. That pen is beginning to die, so I'm gonna. Now this is kind of interesting because I do not ink a surface this big that often, and so now I'm kind of realizing as I start this that this is going to take some time. Oh dang. What have I gotten myself into? Alright, I will talk while I do this. Uh, I also joke with Lupin, and I said this last night, because as the man and I were finally about to fall asleep, quite late, because we're having a hard time sleeping. I know a lot of people are right now. We were finally falling asleep, and we could hear this really weird noise not that far from our bed. And what it was is Lupin had gotten onto our bureau, and he was just rolling back and forth, almost falling off the bureau, over and over again. We had no idea why. We still don't know why. And I made a joke that I always make, which is I say, "This is not a cat. This is not a cat. We have been tricked. This is some kind of albino other animal. We have been given an albino lemur. We have been given an albino raccoon. He is an albino possum." See, I've already made a mistake up here. I'm going to point that out. Don't worry about that. If you are making your own comics, there are ways to get rid of that. There are always ways to fix every mistake. Now, I'm not going to be able to fix it on this stream, but I'm still not stressed. Because part of when I make the comic is I have to scan the comic, and I scan an ink, and I scan the painted version after I ink it, and then I lay the inked scan on top of the painted scan so that all of the lines pop for newsprint. And during that phase, I am able to erase any mistakes and such like this. Now, if I was doing this traditionally, I could erase it with a little bit of white paint. That probably wouldn't be the best option, honestly, because it would kind of still look a little bit messy. I could also do a really, really, really old school way of doing it, which I used to fix mistakes this way sometimes in my 20s and in high school, is boom, we're there, we did it. See how wet that ink looks too? Now imagine rubbing an eraser across it. No. Always do solid inks after erasing. So now we've got this little mistake. What I would do in high school and in my 20s is just put another little piece of paper over it. Ooh, I'm losing it. Just put another little piece of paper over it, and then possibly use a copy machine in, say, the student lounge, or rather the teacher's lounge, and just sort of fix it that way. Now, see, I've got another little ink up here. And a big part of the mistakes that are happening right now is I am not used to working so big, and so there's a lot more ink for my hand to move around, and being left-handed, that's just going to happen. So if I was using this for the comic, I'm still not stressed. You can fix these mistakes. I could even just make Puck winking, which is actually maybe what I'm going to do here. This is a way I could fix it at home if I was just starting out. Puck is just winking hello. So now we have a very saucy Puck that we're working with. But because I scan in all of my inks and all of my paints at the end of the week, in Photoshop, I'm able to fix a lot of these little smudges and dots, and that's an awesome thing. And so I'm an artist who works mostly traditionally, but even if you're working traditionally, I highly, highly recommend eventually learning some sort of digital program. It doesn't have to be Photoshop. I'm just comfortable with it. That's the one I like to use. Uh, some sort of digital program to rearrange your art so that you can take files and you can make prints of your art. You can send them out elsewhere. For instance, I have to send my files every week into Kansas City so that they can be sent out to newspapers. And yeah, I really recommend it. Even if you're working traditionally, it's very, very nice to have something like that up your sleeve. I, for a long time, felt like because I was a watercolorist, I didn't need to know the digital end of things. But I wouldn't be able to create the items that I have on Zazzle, like mugs and T-shirts. I wouldn't be able to do any of that if I didn't know how to do some of the stuff digitally. And now I'm very grateful that I can at least make prints and things digitally too. Another thing where we've got woo, a tail to ink in. But I'm very Bob Ross when it comes to mistakes. There's something you can do to fix it, don't worry about it. And if you have to draw and start all over again, what would I have lost if I had to start this all over again? You know, like 15 minutes maybe. It's not that bad to just start over again too. Woo. I like when the pens squeak. Lupin is right up here. He's like on my hand. I'm amazed he's not in the screen. We're in the home stretch. We're so close. The sides are about. This is why I don't work big. I don't know. I don't know how artists do it when they work so big. I really really enjoy just getting a lot on the page. So see, look at my left hand. Look at this. It happens. It just happens. Don't worry about it. Don't let a few mistakes ever deter you from drawing. It's all a huge part of it. Uh, we make mistakes constantly. We have to fix them constantly, or it's fine. Don't worry about that. If you're not making mistakes, you're not drawing often enough, I think. So just make a ton of mistakes, fail faster. Oh, plush toys. I would love for there to be plush toys someday. It is wildly expensive to make plush toys. And if you're not at a certain level, all plush toys, it seems, are sort of like at a loss when you make them. I've even looked into Kickstarter and such, and it would be a lot to make it happen, and it would be very hard. So hopefully someday. I hope to do plushies someday. Let's draw Elvis. And when I draw Elvis, I'm going to talk a little bit about when you're drawing and if you're drawing cats, how to get their face expressions. And one of the cool things about drawing an animal as opposed to a person is with a person, you're working for face expressions. You're working with eyebrows, eyes, whether they're like squinty, whether they're wide, whether they're, looking to the sides, however that happens. And you're working with the mouth. With animals, you have all of those things to work with, but you also may have whiskers, which was another decision I had to make early in the comic. I didn't put whiskers in, except for certain circumstances. Sometimes Tommy has whiskers. But you're working with all of those things, but you're also working with ears and a tail, which can be very expressive, whether it is twitching angrily or whether it's puffed out. These are all terrific. And this is probably going to be one of the drawings that I wrap up on today. So oh, here comes Lupin again. Okay. All right, let's draw Elvis and some face expressions. And I might draw him a little bit smaller this time so that I can really get the expressions I'm used to. So here I'm going to do that little bell head again. Here's that little wonderful bell head that Elvis has. And I do his eyes. I made that eye too small. I'm going to do his little eyes again. Now they're sort of, you have his attention. He's sort of looking. And now I'm going to make his eyes angry, because they're typically angry in the comic. And now I'm going to show you the different ears I can do. So these are kind of like, I'm going to give the basic ears first. So these are sort of at attention ears. And I'm going to draw his little dark mantle line too, so he looks like Elvis for us. So these are sort of tall at attention ears. And then these are very annoyed ears, sort of off to the side. You might be back a little bit. Very annoyed. This is him sort of paying attention to one thing and just sort of ignoring another. And then I can kind of bring his ears up very high and very together to make him look surprised. Oh, I drew them way too small. They're going back into the background. And so tall and together, kind of surprised. And then with just a few line changes here, I can take away his little eyebrows. Take away the eyebrows. Bring the top of the head back. Bring the top of the eyes back. And now I'm going to kind of give him little concerned eyebrows. Oh no. And now make him little sad ears. Sad to the sides. We have a sad Elvis. That's terrible. We don't want sad Elvis. I want to make him feel better. So we erase these. Lupin has managed to get cat hair all over my sweater. So that's good. We're very on brand right now. Bring back the top of the head. Bring back the top of the eyes. And now, really high, excited ears. He's just heard some good news. Bring his eyes up. He seems kind of hopeful. Give him a little smile, which is usually, it's always a little uncharacteristic for Elvis to really be smiling unless he's like thrilled. So I kind of always give him a like a Wednesday Addams and Addams Family 2 smile. Like it doesn't look comfortable for Elvis when he's smiling. That's always kind of what I'm going for. He always looks like he hasn't been practicing it for a while. But that came out good. That's a good, happy little Elvis. I'm going to do he has a long bowling pin body and his little feet. Now you see, this is how fast I draw them when I draw them myself, to kind of show you. And if you're doing it slowly and we're doing a draw along, I do his little bowling pin body and the two little feet, and then triangle for collar, circle, bring it back down for the tie, and then his suspenders, and then the pants. I'm going to put a little jaunty hand on his little hip. I'm going to give him a little coffee cup because it's a good day. He's excited. And there we go. And that's Elvis. Oh, I do hope that Puck gets a book at some point. That would be awesome, and that is something that I really do want to happen. Why did I give Elvis suspenders? Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. When I did draw the cats originally, I kind of wanted to give them all like sort of 1940s-ish news anchor clothes. And everything originally was going to be much more like that and kind of like traditional 1940s, 1950s sort of classic look. And then just with the cats, I don't know why, just that's where the aesthetic was originally in my head. And And so Elvis got suspenders, which kind of showed he was, you know, like it's a little tiny detail that tells you two things really fast. It tells you that Elvis is a little old fashioned, and it tells you that Elvis overthinks things because his pants are already held up. He doesn't really need something additional holding them up. But just in case, he's got the suspenders. So that's kind of where my thought process was there in giving him that 1940s-ish look. Lupin got the traditional suit, but I always made it a little oversized, kind of that like he's like the new kid at the anchor desk. And Puck is just shirt and tie, simple little dude. Now I'm inking this. I am going to save this as a video to the channel after this, so you can definitely watch this over and kind of see how the drawing comes together again. And then I do just a hint of a line for his mantle, and that's kind of more just so I know where to paint. I used to not do that, but I've begun doing it for newspapers, and it helps. It helps me know. And then the suspenders. And yes, plus he is the dad cat. That is very true. Very true, Lois. Let me erase the pencil again. Now I'm being careful around the mouth because I have that dark swath of ink and I don't want to smudge it. Especially after smudging ink, poor Pucky's ink all the time. That is one of the unforeseen things of working much larger than I'm used to. And that happens. Like I said, like if you take anything from this, like, you know, drawing is messing up 1,000 times and just ink the most important parts. Leave the rest. And so yeah. It's a lot of practice on the lines. That is very, very, very true. And getting the lines very, very smooth is part of that. That's a little bit of the practice. But yeah, right before one, oh, thank you, Will. Right before I go, I'll show you one more easier thing to draw. And I can draw it very, very quickly. And that's why I can do it. And it is, you draw a little sideways egg. You do a little sort of half moon. Another little half moon over to this side. Two little eyes. Little X. Swoosh. Swoosh. Little string. Little ring. And then we ink this guy. Do that. I make him fluffy when I ink him, so I add those details. And then I really like doing his little cord. And the little ring. So that's like a little buzzy mouse. Just quick to throw in. What pen do I use for the text? The text, I actually use, I put that in Photoshop. And that is done using a font that has been made from my handwriting. It's actually 2 or 3 fonts. And I forget, Fontify, I think, is the website that I used to create the font out of my handwriting. They give, Fontify.com, they give you a little sheet with the alphabet and you write in the letters, and it took, oh my gosh, it was like 9 or 10 tries to get one that just kind of worked. And I used 2 or 3 of them. And so to kind of give it a little bit more natural of a feel or a look to it. The reason that I do that is because when I hand in my comic strips to my editor in Kansas City, she is able to fix any grammatical errors or any misspellings on that end much easier if I have a font. And so it makes the editing step a lot easier. And doing the comic with 2 kids at home, that's been pretty awesome. It's very helpful. Uh, I do, Will. Will, I have heard that you hand letters still, and I am very jealous because that is awesome. I really wanted to do that when I started with Breaking Cat News, and I was even given like an opportunity to practice it. It didn't it didn't work well. It just didn't work well. Like I was kind of all over the place, and then I had to correct some things, and then that was hard as well. Just because again, like home with my kiddos, it was really tough. So yes, yes. Oh, Will, I love your handwriting. I don't I don't want this recording or this video to end with Will changing his hand lettering because it's incredible. I love it. How has staying at home affected the strip? It has. I'll be real quick with that part of it. I'm asked how has staying at home affected the comic strip. It's affected writing a little bit because I can ink and paint whenever and whatever is going on. I can ink and paint if I'm watching TV. I can ink and paint while my children are doing their schoolwork. That's not a problem. Writing, I really need to be alone. Like I need quiet. And luckily I have my studio space which is separate. But being the mom end of the deal, not that they go to my husband for everything too. Like Ryan's like a super great person to parent with. He's like right there. It's awesome. But I mean, when you're a kid, you kind of, I don't know, like we all kind of ask mom for a lot, and so I'll get like a lot of like knocks and mom, mom, mom. So very much like the comic. I mean, that's really where a lot of the ma'am, mom comes from. That is my life. Um, let me see if I have. I don't know if I have them painted right next to me, but I do have the next set of comics that are coming in very soon. And do I have them painted next to me? I want it to be the kind of thing I can just grab. Okay, it is. So without too many spoilers, I do have here coming up. So you'll see when I hand in my roughs before I actually finish the comic, it's all in pencil, all of the writing, and that's so I can change it. And then I erase that in Photoshop. So I scan it with the pencil letters, and then I erase the pencil letters and replace them with my font. So I have the man is working from home, and as you will see, Lupin is trying to help the man work from home, and that is coming up in just a couple of weeks. And so that has also affected the comic since we are all home, and there is a little bit of that happening, so it comes into the comic a little bit. But yeah. Was there a real Freddy? No, there was not a real Winifred Quinn. Winifred is based in part on my great grandmother Nana Irene, and also, and she is also based very much in spirit of Tommy's real life woman, Jackie Betty, who does work in animal rescue. And so I kind of made Winifred Quinn's early life working in rescue sort of mirrored, and her personality and her attitude is a lot like her. But we haven't really gotten to know Freddie that way yet. And I do, in the future, I actually want to go back a little bit. And we get to see her when she was young. I don't know if I'll ever really have that opportunity, but it's one of those ideas simmering in the back of my head that sometimes become a story later on. Yes. So I think that I'm going to wrap up the video now, and the biggest reason that I'm doing that is the man also has a video, he has a video conference happening right now with the company that he works for. And so I can hear that beginning, and I'm realizing, like, oh, I should probably wrap this up so that, so someone can watch our children who are playing in the yard. But I can hear them, don't worry, they keep knocking on my window. And they're fine. It's fine. But yeah, I would love to do this again. And honestly, I mean, you watched this with me. You saw me do this. This is my first time trying to really do this. And I need to practice it a little bit more because I know I definitely drew way too fast at times. And also, it's different. You know, it's a different thing drawing with an audience and drawing a little bit bigger. So this is something I would definitely like to do. What I would like to do next time is show you some of the watercolor process and some of the painting, because that is my favorite part of everything that I do. I love watercoloring. I love painting. I'd love to share that with you. It probably would be a bit smaller just so that you could like really see, but I'll have the man bring the camera down. And yeah, that would be like a really cool thing, I think. Hopefully you would like that too. I want to use this YouTube channel a little bit more, especially while we're all home. And it feels like a good direct way that I can talk to everyone that doesn't just put all of it on Instagram or all of it on Facebook or all of it on Twitter. It kind of brings all of those camps together in one spot that's a little easier to get to. We're able to save these broadcasts as videos, so you can watch them at any time, and they're very easy to see. Last night, I kind of joked that I might want to do like a friendship bracelet tutorial. Because friendship bracelets came into the comic this week, which was kind of like a fun joke, but also I can make friendship bracelets because I'm a kid who went to summer camp. And so I could definitely do like a friendship bracelet tutorial if anyone would be interested in that. That might just be kind of like a fun, easy little art project that I could have up here as a video that you know, kids or people of all ages. I mean, none of us outgrow friends or friendship bracelets. Like, let's all get to a cool place in our life again where we give each other friendship bracelets. If anything comes from all of this, I just hope that we really want sweet ways to connect with each other like that. Like, mail your friend a friendship bracelet. Just let them know. So yeah, so I might do that. Yeah, so I get like this is truly a YouTube channel because I'm realizing at this moment that like I need to tell you like, hey, you know, bat that like button, smash that subscribe off a shelf, like cat versions. I'm trying to think of cat versions on the fly. But yeah, like and subscribe. That whole like this is why they do that. Oh my gosh. Now I see. Now I'm on the other end of it. But yeah, like, you know, join the channel if you want, because then you'll get updates for it and you'll be able to see the videos all the time. Yeah, I hope to use it more. It would be cool. And I'm looking, is there a place or a hashtag we can share our results from this class? There is now. That's a great idea. Let me think about it. I'm going to make it super easy. Let's do, this will be the hashtag. Very, very, very easy. Which pen? Here it is. So this will be the hashtag. Hashtag. Put a 20 on there in case we do this again at another time. So BCN Art 20 for 2020. That'll be the hashtag. Please share your results of this. That would be awesome. I would love to see the results from this, even if you put them on, if you go onto like the Facebook link on, put them in the results, or if you tweet this, that would be awesome. That is why I put a 20 on it, Ezra, because that definitely looked like a weird word. Didn't it? Like, I was looking at that hashtag and I was like, it looks like BC Nart. So now it is BC Nart 20. And that is going to be it. Yeah. So I'm looking at the chats again. Like, hey, all you cool cats and kittens. Aaron, that's so good. I love that. Aaron is a close personal friend. We grew up together. Uh, that is amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna hit the stop streaming. You're gonna get to see the live aspect of this as I fumble for the button because I am so not used to this. Hey, Chris. Hello, hello. Okay, so I am. Please, um, if you do draw from this, please share. I'd love to see the results. That would be awesome. I apologize for the times when I was just moving way too fast. It's out of habit, and I gotta get a little bit better at this aspect of it. But that's kind of exciting. I don't know. I'd like to do this more. Um, and yes, please share it for sure. The video, I am going to save the video of this broadcast. The man has told me sometimes it takes a little while for the video to show up on the YouTube channel, so it might take an hour or two. That's great. I mean, it's kind of good that someone at YouTube is watching these and just making sure there isn't anything weird in them. Like, that's cool. As a parent, I think that's rad. And so it will show up on the channel in a little while, and you'll be able to watch this again. Feel free to pause it if I am going too fast and try it again and check it out as well, and you can kind of compare. Hopefully it kind of just helps to see how I draw some of this stuff. I'm a little bit like that. If I can watch someone's hands do something, sometimes I have an easier time replicating it or doing that myself. And so I hope that maybe that will be helpful too. But, okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thank you so, so much. This has been really nice to just sort of spend some time with you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to do more. And I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your Friday. All right. Have a great day. I'm going to try to hit that button now. Everyone cross your fingers with me. Let's see if it works. Okay. Bye.